So yeah, let's set up the Arduino board. So for this demo, we'll be setting up code which will accept the button input. To do that, what we are going to do is first we are going to place a button, and then for the ground wire black and data wire blue, make sure they are on the different side of the button. For example, ground on the left side and digital pin on the right side. You are going to add the 10k ohm resistor to the same side as digital pin connection, in this example on the right side. The other leg of the resistor goes to a different line on the board, and from this leg you add a wire red to the 5-volt pin of the Arduino. This is the pull-up resistor, which makes sure the default voltage you read is 5 volt, hence high is the blue. So uh, that's all that we are going to do with this board, and it's very simple, and you should if you are not getting the button input in your Arduino IDE, then make sure that all the wires are connected properly. Press each of them to make sure that they are well connected with the breadboard. And if you still are not getting the input, so in that case, make sure that you have selected the correct port, and then your code is uploaded properly on the board, and your code does not have any errors. So yeah, that's it. So if we make sure all these are checked, then we are on the right path. So yeah, so now we are done with setting up our Arduino board. Let's write a code for it to read our button input. So this is all the code that we need. In the first line, we are setting the digital pin, which will be reading the button input. And then we are using this variable to know the button state, if it is pressed or not. And then in the setup function, we are setting the baud rate and the pin mode. So in the loop function, we are constantly reading the digital input from our button, and if it is high, that means we have pressed our button, and according to the button state, if it is unpressed, we are reading the press state, and we are setting the press state to 1 so that we don't read furthermore, because if the button is pressed, it will keep sending the high state. So to avoid printing it multiple times, we are using this variable, and same for the low state, and there is a slight delay to make the code stable. And that's it. You can verify your code, and if it does not have any error, you can then upload it to your board, and it will show in here that code has been uploaded. And there are few things that you need to take care when you are selecting your Arduino board. Make sure to select the correct port, which is very important, otherwise your code will not upload. So there are if you want to copy this port, the simplest way is to write this command in your terminal, and then you can then copy this port into your Unity. So yeah, that's it from the Arduino side. let's see what how you can set up your Unity code now. So now that we have set up our board, Arduino board, and then the code for the Arduino board, it's time to set up the Unity code. Um, so to do that, we need to communicate with the Arduino board, and the best plugin that I found, which is free to use, is this one, Ardity. And you can download this project file from this option, and then once you have it in your local folder, then go to the Unity projects, asset, and drag this Ardity folder to your Unity project. So I have it here, and then you can open the scene, like I'm just using this one, just read one, and you might get some errors. uh, so to clean those up, you have to go to the build setting and player settings, and then from player go to the other settings and change the .NET framework to .NET from .NET Standard 2.1. This will solve all your issues related to serial port, and now you are ready to communicate with Arduino board. And the plugin provides a simple interface, a class to communicate with the Arduino board. So it takes few things, like you need to get the port name and the baud rate, which is important, otherwise it won't connect. So the baud rate you have already mentioned here, 9600. You have to take the same in here, and I have already shown you how to get the port name. In Windows, it's pretty much clean. You can get COM4, COM6, COM5 like port, but here in Mac, it's a little bit different. So make sure you are connected to the right port, and same port should be um, given in this field. So that's how you can connect. So I have used the script for listening the events, like they have provided a sample script which listen to the serial port, and I have attached this game object to the listener object, which basically what it does is whenever something is printed to the serial port, uh, it will read that, and then it will send it as a message. So on message, on connection event, on connection um, event, yeah, so true and false, and then on message arrived. So these three functions are there in the message listener. So let me open that for you. So as you can see, here I have done a few extra things, like I have created two actions that is for my game, which I will explain in some time. But basically it listens to the message and to the connection events. So that's it. When I am receiving a message, I am just invoking my own action with that same message. So yeah, let me show that to you what I have. So I have a ball with a rigid body and a sphere collider. I have a jump script in that ball, and basically what it does is it have a button state enum, and then when we receive that message from the Arduino board, uh, we are converting it to an enum. That is why we have it here as 0 and 1. So 0 for button down, up for 1, and as soon as we press the button down, what we are doing is we are adding force to our rigid body in the upward direction, and that's how the ball jumps. So let's check our Arduino code in here. It is working fine. I want to show you a condition where if you have your serial monitor running. So yes, if you have your serial monitor open while you are testing your board, as I am doing now, and you try to connect your Unity project to the serial board, let's see what happens. So it says that the resource is busy. So in this case, don't worry, just go to your Arduino and IDE and then close the serial monitor. Now when you go to Unity and try again, let's see what happens. And your board is connected. So yeah, simple. Now if you press the button in your Arduino board, it reads your input. Okay, so simple enough. And yeah, so that's it. There is nothing much. It was a very simple project, just to give you an idea. So what I will do is I will share all the links in my description, and yes, if you have any doubts, you can write your comments, and yeah, I will reply to those. Okay, so with that I will say that, like, share and comment, give your feedbacks, and happy coding.